Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am so excited to share another DIY. I am so excited. There was this vase that I was inspired by from Sea Gallery, and we made it work, very affordable. All we did was use cardboard and the shape that we wanted. It didn't look so perfect on this picture, but we made it work and I just can't stop looking at it. I really like how it came out. So I'm going to show you exactly how we did it. Just keep in mind that you just made the shape you really want, the design. That's what I love about this DIY, because you could just be very creative. And as you see, this is a DIY floor vase. That means this was 20 inches long. So we looked for a cardboard that was long enough because we knew that we needed to create our own template. And once we were happy with how straight it was and the curve, then from there we just kept making that same pattern and kept cutting it until we had enough to go around. So once we measured this one, it was about 20 inches or so long, and the widest part of the design was about 4 inches spread out. And then what we did was, here are all the ones that we cut, and I'm going to show you exactly how long it is. And the green foam you see right next to it is one of those that you find in the dollar store. And what we did, we just try to measure it and cut it to fit this DIY. So you have to be careful because that type of foam is very soft, and as soon as it gets the hot glue, it kind of like melts a little bit. But once you get the hang of it, it works really, really good. So we use the hot glue and we glue, creating like a cross, and then we just continue adding more and more. Now we see that some of them are not so even, so I just went around and used the scissors to make sure that they were all even before we start the next step. But remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just wanted to double check those edges that were not so rough. Now the next step is really fun, is just applying tape. We got tape from the Dollar Tree, but you can just get it at Lowe's. That way you don't have to use that much. We did, I believe, use 2 of those packs, and we just continue applying tape all throughout. So now that it's all done and taped up, we're ready for the next step, and that will be using the plaster of Paris. I did apply this a few times, but it all depends on how the consistency you would like on the product, or in this case the vase. So just follow the instructions. What I did was I got cold water, and I already have measured the powder or the plaster of Paris in a separate cup. And what I read, the best way to work is just apply it like a drizzle and just go ahead and doing that. That way it's pretty smooth and there's no lumps. And every time I did it, it worked so great. So I feel like this was the best technique for us. And just keep adding it to the water little by little. Once you have that all added in there and you keep mixing it, just keep in mind that the mixing it, the more you mix it, the harder it's going to be. And once you find the consistency that you like, then you can start applying it on the base. But just keep in mind that once you find that consistency, it's going to start setting a lot quicker. So the first time we let it set, pretty kind of runny in a way, almost like cake batter. But the second and third time we let it get hardened, and we just had water on the side. That way we could just use that water to make it smoother. I hope that makes sense. Once you find the perfect consistency, go ahead, make sure you have gloves. It was very easy to apply the plaster once it was set with those gloves, and we just apply that gently all throughout. What we did was, once we finished with whatever was left, see, as you can see, this was the first time doing it and it was kind of runny, but the second time what we did was we let it set and dry it overnight, and then the next day we did the same thing, and we did that again throughout the next day and another time until we were happy with how this looked like. Remember, the reason why we had to use so much, this was our second time doing it, the reason why we had to do it so many times was because this was a pretty long, tall base. And just make sure that everything is covered. We made sure that the bottom was covered, and also that nice tip that was on the top. For this size of the base, we did this technique 3 times until we found the consistency that we were looking for. It dries very quickly. It doesn't look the best, but just know that you could just use sandpaper and make it smoother. So here is after 2 or 3 coats. We just kept doing it until we were happy with how it looked like, and we just took a light sandpaper and nicely just started to give it a nice shape. The only thing that doesn't have to be perfect is because we're going to be applying some chrome or type of silver stickers on top, which covers all the flaws. So once you like how it's coming together and you sanded the base, then it was ready to paint it. So what we did, we applied a thin coat, and then I created these with this paper. This was something that we purchased on Amazon, and we traced it. So once I was happy with the shape of it, we just cut a lot of those, and these are the ones that we're going to be applying our hot gluing on the base. So I already sanded and passed like a wet rag, but kind of damp, to remove any excess powder. And then I apply a small coat of paint so it gives it a nice shine. And now the whole thing, that why it's not so smooth is because I want to pass, well actually I want to glue all of these shape kind of stickers that we trace and cut, and we're gonna be go ahead and put those all throughout. So you're gonna be seeing a little bit of this paint. So I'm gonna start hot gluing all of these like stickers. I'm just gonna create, just going a line going down. So guys, to complete this look, what I did was on that rim, as you could see, was exposed. So what I did was I got some foam board. The one I had was black and it was pretty thick. I got that from the Dollar Tree. I had extra, and all I did was I traced the rim where the base was, and I just hot glued that, and I just put a nice border of some of that bling mesh. And I did the same thing on the bottom. I noticed adding that foam board that is pretty thick made it really sturdy, so it holds pretty nicely on its own, and you could just make it as thick, and I feel like it gives it a nice touch from the top on the bottom. The black part I was thinking of also coloring it on more like a silver tone, but I really like how it looks like. So can you believe, just using some Dollar Tree products and just cardboard and being creative, using your imagination, we were able to create this base. And it's a floor base. It's 21 inches, about 21 inches long. So I really like how this came out, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this quick DIY, how we made it, and I hope you really enjoyed it as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.